Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for another quick how-to guide, and today we're taking a look here at Viv Vision. So her rotation is pretty easy to understand, and she excels against Battlegrounds and Alliance War sized health pools, but the trade-off to that kind of power is that she has a fairly high skill cap. So if you want to play her effectively, especially in those two game modes, you're going to want to practice using her quite a bit. Okay, let's start with the question that I get most often on these types of videos, and that is, does she need Awaken? And for Viv, the answer is an emphatic yes, and not only that, you also want her at a very high sig, ideally max sig. Now I am going to talk more a bit later about why her sig is so important, but first, let's jump right into gameplay so you can learn how best to use her. Okay, the first thing you want to know about Viv is that when you parry with her, she's going to trigger a phase instead of a parry stun. And from here, you'll have enough time to counterattack, and you should do so in one of three ways. So a medium, light, 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 medium combo will apply a passive heal block, while a medium, light, 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 light combo will apply a suppression debuff. You'll also have enough time to throw a heavy attack, which you can use to remove prowess effects. Each of these combos is going to consume one of her yellow solar energy charges. Now there's one very important limitation to her phase, and that is that you need to consume solar energy before you will be able to phase again. So this means that you have to finish all of your combos in order to apply one of those effects that I just mentioned. It also means that when you play her, you have to be careful not to outpace her ability to generate solar energy on her own. So for example, if you go for that medium, light, 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 medium combo, but you don't have solar energy, then you won't be able to place that heal block passive, and then your next phase isn't going to work, and that parry is just going to be a parry. Okay, so you're going to continue to phase and counter while you build up to your special 2. Now you don't have to get just under 3 bars of power, but like half a bar of power above your special 2 is usually what I aim for. Once you're at that special 2, go ahead and fire it off. Now there are 5 different points during this special attack where slow motion triggers, and you want to tap your block during each of them. I'm going to go over the timing for all of them in a minute here, so don't worry. Each time you successfully do this, though, you're going to convert her armor ups into solar energy, and if you manage to hit all 5, you're going to end up with the maximum of 15 solar energy. From here, get yourself to a special 1 and bait out a special from your opponent if necessary, then fire that special 1 off and watch the magic happen. So the special 1 is unblockable while the defender is below a bar of power, and it won't give them any power either. Each hit is going to consume solar energy, which is going to grant you additional power, and this is what's going to enable you to spam them. And at this point, the fight is over. Okay, real quick, let's take a look at what this fight looks like in real time. So I'm parrying to trigger my phase, countering with a full 5-hit combo to activate the passive heal block, and then in my second combo, I'm switching to the suppression, kind of alternating them as I need to, all the while building up to my special 2. One of the great things about using Viv is that if you learn how to play her well, you can get through a lot of these fights without taking any damage, which is just really, really fun to do. So I'm going to throw off my special 2 here when I'm about at 2.5 bars of power. I'm going to nail all 5 hits of the slow-mo at the maximum 15 solar energy. He cooperates with the special 1, and now I do a nice little backdraft, fire off my special 1, placing those energy vulnerability debuffs, and then a second special 1 finishes the fight. Like I said a few moments ago, Viv is really designed for smaller health pools, and her signature ability is focused on increasing the size of the health pool that she can take out in a single rotation. So this first part here gives her a flat increase to her power gain. This is what's going to allow you to spam multiple special 1s at the end of her rotation in order to finish the fight. At max sig, you can expect to get about 3 special 1s in a full rotation. Anything less than that, and you risk needing to start the rotation over because the opponent isn't going to be dead. And then these next 2 bullet points here directly affect her maximum damage output by allowing her to place energy vulnerability debuffs with that special 1, so that each subsequent special 1 you throw deals more damage than the previous one. So you can kind of see how these work hand in hand here. At max sig, you'll be using more special 1s, and those special 1s will hit harder the more you use them. Okay, real quick, let's review the rotation. So when you parry, it's going to trigger a 1-second phase, and then you can counterattack with one of these 3 combos depending on the utility that you need. Remember, you have to finish your combo in order to consume solar energy, or you won't be able to phase again. Now just repeat those 2 steps until you can use your special 2, about 2.5 bars of power. Optionally, you can go for the special 3 first if it's a larger health pool. The special 3 going to give you a permanent fury buff. It's about 20% or so. I suspect it's going to be too slow for battlegrounds, but in war, I definitely think the SP3 is probably what you want to start with. And then from there, make sure your defender is below a bar of power, work up to your special 1, and then just start spamming them in order to finish the fight. Okay, let's rewind a bit and talk about the timing of the block taps on that special 2. This is probably the most important part about playing her. So the first tap is immediately after you use the special attack as she's doing that first double kick. The second tap, I think, is the most difficult. As soon as she pops out of the ground, you're going to hit block again. The third one is right after she slams back into the ground. The fourth one is right before the punch. And the fifth one is right before the final kick here. So let's take a look at all the taps in slow motion. And then finally, one more time at full speed. It is very tricky to get all 5, and if you find that you're consistently getting only 4, don't worry about it. That's going to do just fine. A few final notes here on Viv, and the first one is that she makes incredible use of the Collar Tech Mastery. Now, I know not a lot of people use this mastery, especially because Mystic Dispersion is basically required these days, especially if you play Alliance War, but she benefits quite a bit from not having to waste time baiting out so many special attacks. The second note is that since Viv was designed for Battlegrounds and Alliance War sized health pools, she really doesn't require any synergies to be really good. Now that being said, this synergy here with the other V champs increases the potency of her armor up buffs, but better yet, it also increases the potency of her suppression debuff, which is going to save you a little bit more time in a fight. And going one step further off of that, if you drop a Mr. Fantastic suppression pre-fight for her, her power control becomes so good that you can sometimes take out opponents without them ever getting to a bar of power. And if you do this, you do have to remember to mix in some heavies after your phase in order to keep the debuff refreshed, but it's absolutely worth it. That's going to do it for this guide, folks. I try and keep these guides as simple as possible, but Viv, she can be a little bit complicated to learn at first. So keep at it, keep practicing those SP2 block taps, and you'll be dominating with her in no time. If this guide helped you, you can help me right back by hitting that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to get access to all future videos and be notified when I go live. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.